Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to hold a broad meeting to discuss with you guys about the role accounting narrative as well as the impression management plays when we operate in our company. Because we all know that Wells Fargo was the golden child of post-financial crisis banking world. However, last year, Wells Fargo has a very big scandal that creates fake accounts in the name of the real customers, just in order to hit big sales as well as receive bonus, but bring Wells Fargo very bad impression in the public. So that's why I want to hold this meeting to discuss with you how to use this kind of creative accounting tools when manage our company. Let me introduce today's present members. My left hand is our perfect CEO Frank, as well as CFO Grace. With exponential intention, I invent some experts from external worlds. They are Professor Judy from University of Exeter Accounting Department and Senior Auditor Lincoln from PwC. Also, here is Chloe, the representative from Financial Reporting Council. Also, here is my perfect assistant Amy. She will make detailed notes and record the whole conference today. So, first, Professor Judy, could you please give us a detailed and understandable explanation of what accounting narrative is?
Yeah, accounting narratives are defined as written or spoken disclosure, and it represents opportunities for management to describe, discuss, and evaluate the financial and non-financial performance of the company. Accounting narratives can be found in annual reports, including financial statements, accounting textbooks, official pronouncements by accounting bodies, and legal judgments concerning accounting issues. Accounting-related narratives are found in various media and written by various stakeholders. Prepared creative narratives are now acknowledged as a crucial component of the business reporting package, and the role of the reader in their interpretation is well understood. That's all.
Yeah, I think it's very clear. If anyone has any problem, just ask Professor later. So, Frank, could you please tell us how to use impressions management when, as well as accounting narrative when you operating our company?
Yeah. As we can see, there's a quite difference between the fraud and the impressions management. First, the fraud is actually false or use prohibited financial transactions to deliberately mislead the shareholders, so which becomes subsequently illegal. And but impressions management is actually a tool or a process to help managers to show the impressions that they want to show to the audience, to the stock takers or the investors. The impressions management actually uses accounting narratives, numbers, graphs, or some other ways. The managers would engage in opportunistic behavior, seeking to maximize the expected return and minimize the potential risk or some loss. So impressions management in accounting narratives may consist of 4 elements. The first, the managers would stress the positive and downplay the negative. For example, they may too much focus on overemphasize the financial success of the company, while downplays the financial disasters of the company. The second, they would use some language to baffle the readers. For example, they might use some difficult, not easy readable language to make difficulties for the investors investors or the stockholders to read. Third, managers will use differential reporting. That's bad news companies might focus less on the actual results than good news companies, and might refers to to focus on the future rather than the past. Fourth, the companies will use attributions to take credit for the good news, while they blame the environment for the loss, for bad news. Impressions management can be viewed from four perspectives. The first is the economic-based perspective, and it views impression management as an inconsistency between the actual and reported organizational outcomes, and thus conceptualize it as reporting bias. The technology-based perspectives views impression management as reported and actual performance attributions, and regards it as a self-serving biases. The third, system-oriented theories regard impressions management as the consistency between the portrayed and the actual value, and thus it is a symbolic management. The last is a critical perspective regards impressions management as inconsistent between portrayed and actual organization decision making. So the impressions management can be viewed as retrospective rationality and accounting rhetorics. Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Frank. Although it is not illegal, so we still need to keep the balance when using these tools. So, Grace, as a CFO, what part will you focus on when dealing with accounting and financial aspects?
Yeah, as the company's financial director, I will explain the key features of accounting narratives and how we use it. Readability and understandability are the two focuses on effective communication. The early literature made no distinction between the two. The more recent studies, such as Jones in 1997, argue that readability measures the captured difficulty, while understandability measures the ability of a reader to gain knowledge from a text. Narrative disclosures allow a quantitative view on the firm's performance to be incorporated into a company's financial reports. We offer the possibility to account for corporate intangibles such as management quality, inventory skills, and knowledge assets. Use this as a driving forces to accounting-related outcomes. We can say that from a financial director's perspective, accounting narratives is just quantification and exaggeration.
Quantification and exaggeration. Thanks a lot, Grace. Lincoln, you must have dealt with numerous cases faced with different types of companies during your career life. So what do you think from auditor aspect?
The link between manipulation and accounting narratives has basically been already mentioned, and that is through impressions management. And a famous example of this is Enron 2000 is with Enron in 2001, when they released in the year 2000 reports a letter to shareholders within the annual reports detailing a lot of what we call positive words in PwC. So, they use words such as success by measure when they were not actually succeeding. They're using outdistance the competition, other words like solidifying our leadership. These words provide positive connotations to the actual reader and the user of the information by clouding their judgment, as Frank has mentioned. So from an external perspective at PwC, we need to endeavour to work together with the company in order to reduce inconsistencies, because it is actually known, it's a known fact that we very rarely audit narratives, and we should actually start to begin to regulate them in order to reduce such inconsistencies, because there is actually a blurred line between fraud and impressions management, because no one knows which one becomes what, and that is the key. Manipulation in form of impressions management is should be self-regulated, but that is not saying that impressions management is a negative tool. It's actually a brilliant tool, but should be used with self-discipline in order to not undermine the shareholders of the company and the public, because by undermining their authority, we are potentially committing fraudulent acts.
Yes, very clear. Thanks a lot. When managing no pressures, good public impressions as well legally behavior also very necessary. Chloe, you are working for the FRC, so your suggestion must be very useful.
Yeah, according to FRC guidance on the strategic report, the annual report as a whole should be fair, balanced, and understandable, and should provide information necessary for the shareholder to assess the entity performance, business model, and strategy. In the legal perspective, directors are liable to compensate the company if the company suffers any loss as a result of any untrue or misleading statement or any omission from the reports. The extent of the liability is limited, that directors are only liable to the company, and directors are only liable to the company if they knew that the statement were untrue and misleading, or if they knew that the omission was a dishonest concealment of a material fact. Accordingly, provided directors do not issue a deliberate or recklessly untrue or misleading statement or dishonestly conceal a material fact by way of an omission, they will not be liable for any losses incurred in the reliance on the report.
Yeah, I got it. Thanks everyone's attention. Emma is a perfect assistant, so please give us a brief summary and conclusion for today's conference.
Yeah, so through our discussion today, now we know what is accounting narratives and how to use it. We cannot deny that accounting narratives are an important vehicle with which our company can communicate more effectively with our shareholders. However, by learning experience and lessons from WellFargo, it is obvious that accounting narratives play a significant role in the manipulation of financial reporting. Most accounting narratives in corporate reports are not subject to external audit, which makes it easier for the managers to manipulate the information disclosed therein. Therefore, our company should treat accounting narratives properly and use it correctly, since all of us have a high expectation of our company to run for a long time.
Well, it's a really great and high efficient conference today. Thanks again, everyone. If you still have any problem, we just discuss later. Hope we could cooperate again in future.